Hello everybody, today I'm here with Roseanne and I'm going to show you different ways how you can touch. And as always, when you touch, you really want to pay close attention to what feels right for you. One way of touching is using the whole surface of your hands. And as you can see, the way I touch now, it's almost a little bit like pressing. As always, I'm not really now looking for the most horny thing to do. So even if you are with a woman and you would like to get very intimate with each other, always start touching in a way to sort of get curious, your curious touch. So what I'm doing now with the full hand is almost as a little bit of exploring the surface area of her body. And you can do it quite firm. So I'm actually firm touching now. Now is that for you, Roseanne?
Nice.
It's right, yeah. Nice, yeah. Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to turn around or something. There's no goal whatsoever. I'm really touching her and feeling her in a way that feels great for me, still with a full hand. So that's one way. Roseanne, I'll be sort of tossing you around a little bit, if you don't mind. And what you can also do, instead of a full hand, is using your fingertips. So this is quite strong, but also if I'm sort of investigating what feels right for me to touch, I can do it with my fingertips. It's like a feather-light touch and can go up or down. And it is feather-light, but it can also be a little bit stronger. For me, that feels a bit weird to use my fingertips stronger, but you can do it. But then I can use my fingertips a little bit stronger. And again, that gives a totally different feeling. How's that for you? With fingertips?
Nice.
Feels very different, huh? Yeah. So fingertips like this. And of course, if you do this, you can bring variation in it, right? So with the full hand or the fingertips, you can do the same with two hands, like this. And all the while, if you see more of my videos, you know what I'm doing here. I'm scanning my own body to feel what feels good for me, right? And this actually does feel good. I can feel the energy flowing in my body, feel it here. I can even feel it here a little bit. But as always, I don't have any plans. I'm not speeding up. That's like the worst thing you can do. You really just want to take your time. What you can do here, you want to be always careful with the neck. You don't want to touch here too strong at first. Maybe if it feels right and you have consent and the woman likes it, you can touch a little bit firmer, but always be very, very, very careful with the Adam's apple. You don't want to press in that. That's very dangerous. You can also make it a little bit more, I would call it finger, like raindrops, right? And like this, but then maybe more checking, taking your hands off. And of course, Roseanne is now seeing what I'm doing, but just imagine if she is lying on her belly, not watching, and I would do this a little bit more, or it would be a little bit more sensual, a little bit more erotic, and she wouldn't know where my hands would land. That could be the element of surprise that actually makes it even nicer. You can also kneading. In Dutch we call it kneden, but it's a very different word. And also that is a different way, right? Like this, touching. Also this is also a very sensitive, also sensual spot. And again, some women like it, some women don't. You always want to be careful. I'm actually just testing the whole time. Yeah, you can lie down if you want. Right. Remember what I just said, with the fingertips. And depends, like, I'm not sure what the mood is of Roseanne at the moment. I know I like this.
Yeah. Very relaxed.
Very relaxed. Right. And also, now I'm using the hands, but don't forget that you can also use different parts of your body. So, for example, I can use my lower arms to stroke over her. Why? Well, because it gets a very big surface that I'm using now, which is nice, not just for her, but also for me. But also, as you can see, it brings my body closer to hers, which already creates a kind of tension, sensation. I can feel more in my chest that I'm coming closer. And how is this for you, Roseanne?
Yeah.
If I come closer to my body like this?
I feel very submissive in a way. It's very nice. It's nice to let go.
It's nice to let go.
Yeah.
You feel submissive, you feel maybe if I would translate it, you feel like you don't have anything, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just taking the lead, huh? Yeah. So that's one way you can touch. And also, of course, now I'm sort of pretty much dressed, but if I have more skin available to touch with, that could also be a good idea. So also with your feet or with your leg, you can also just start touching like that. And again, you're always just using your own body to check what feels right and what doesn't feel right. Okay, can you sit up for a second? Maybe in front of me. And also, as Roseanne was just lying down, which is a very different posture than how she is now. Also, that makes a difference. The way I would like to touch her now may be completely different than what I was just doing before. And I don't know, guys. I'm not having a very tight script on what to do. I'm actually just figuring it out at the moment. For example, when she's sitting here, it feels good for me and also often good for a woman if you give a little bit of pressure at the lower part here, at the pelvic area. So really just to grab it here almost, as you can see me do, maybe you can see it even better. Put my hand here, grab her here, pressing in, holding her firm there. I can even do it with my legs, as you can see, pressing in with my legs. And how is that for you, Roseanne?
Yeah, nice and firm.
Nice and firm, yeah. And also, you can do that here as well. Just hold her here a little bit. Knead. Do it with the fingers. You can do that as well. Normally I would press my chest against Roseanne, but if I do that, the microphone will get jammed, so I can't do that. Do it a little bit higher. And I can do it like this as well. And you can see, even though, let's free my microphone here. Even though I am using my hands mostly, I'm also using the rest of my body. And even while doing this, you can start making some movements as sensuality, sex is also a little bit of a dance, right? So also moving like this can become very horny, doesn't have to become very horny, but it can just feel really nice. Just playing around like that, still using the hands. Also here, some women can feel nice. Always start very gentle. It can also feel nice just to put some pressure on the head. And also again, I can do it with full hand. Now I'm actually blocking her ears. Not everyone likes it, but it can also give a sensation of really being in her own body, just almost as if she's under the water. Just checking. How is it if I press your ears closed? Is that for you?
Yeah, it feels like I'm feeling my own bubble.
In your own bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that can be nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be nice, depending on, I guess, how you feel.
Not too long. Maybe.
Not too long. Yeah, exactly. So that can be something you can try out. Right. And also here, holding it like here. And just having her rest against your body, also giving her a natural feeling of letting go, relaxation. And for me also, make sure you don't collapse. So if you have problems with your back, make sure you sit against a wall or something. But still using some movements, right? And while you're using your hands, it can also be as simple as touching her hand, touching the hand of Roseanne in this case. The whole body, obviously, you can give attention, but the hands, they have a special, well, first of all, there's a lot of touch senses in there. So it can actually feel very intimate. Sometimes for me personally, it can actually feel even more intimate than a lot of other sexual acts that I can do. Touching the hands, it gives a kind of extra feeling of connection, I would almost say. So don't forget these hands. Don't forget it. Hand palm, the fingers, kneading it, using your full hands on top of it. As I say, the whole body you can give some attention, and some parts you can give more attention, depending on you, what you like, and also on the woman that you're with. So Roseanne, is there any part of your body that you like to be touched on?
I like to be touched on my bottom.
On your bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, on your bottom. I will do that. So in this case, I asked her. What you can also do always, right? If you're not sure what she likes, you can just ask, and she can tell you, and then you can start doing that. So in this case, maybe we can get your bottom a little bit more in view. There we go. So here's the bottom. So she likes it, but still, if I touch her bottom, I'm going to touch it in a way that feels nice for me. Of course, if I really am unsure, I can ask her, how do you want me to touch it? And she can tell, oh, feather light, or very strong, or a full hand, or fingertips, or nails, or slap me on the bum, whatever. But I trust her that if she doesn't like it, she would tell me as well, right? So that's always, I'll make more videos about that, how to make sure you can trust her to set boundaries and to also express your wishes in the moment, which can be different every different moment. But in this case, I'll just, move a little bit with it, just touch it. And what I like, maybe from my time as being a body worker, also to see what kind of natural movement a body part has. I mean, the bum, obviously, that's always nice to move it a little bit like this. No clue if she likes it. Roseanne, how is this for you?
It's nice.
It's nice.
It's playful.
It's playful. It's playful. Right? And the way you touch, you want to be in sync with how the body moves. So if I would do this, and then sort of start moving in a way that is not in sync, it is a little bit like, what is that guy doing? So, it moves a little bit like that. And I can, again, it's a big muscle. So you also probably, not always, perhaps want to use a little bit more of strength. As if I do it very soft, it can be nice as well. But a muscle that is big sometimes also likes to be needed very, very strong. A lot of you people think, oh, this has to be very sensual or very sexual. As a matter of fact, it doesn't have to be sexual at all, right? I like doing this, but it doesn't have to turn me on or something, right? Turning me on could be more, for example, if I take the leg with it, right? And then to see what happens with me, or if I bring my body a little bit closer, and move like that. press my chest against her chest. Some things like that. Or maybe tickling here a little bit. And just imagine if you're here and you don't know what to do anymore, which happens, then just stop doing something for a bit. Just wait and think and look at the person you're with and just, I don't know, wait until you get an idea. And if that's a weird idea or something you think like, why would I do this? Doesn't matter, right? You can sort of try things out. Sometimes it will work. Sometimes it may not work. You never know. But now I just thought like, okay, bum's good, but I like to touch her belly. So I sort of move her over towards me. And there we go. And I'll start just touching her